Hi there. I'd like to show you today what you think in your mind affects your body. So, if you think something positive in your mind about yourself, you'll have a positive effect on your body. And if you think something negative, you'll have a negative effect on your body. So, I just want you to play along with me. Watch all this video. That's the only way you're going to understand how what you think affects what you feel. So what I would like you to do is, you can do this with your eyes open or your eyes closed. I want you to imagine that there's a lemon in front of you. A nice, juicy lemon. And I'd like you to imagine that that juicy lemon is on a chopping board, or somewhere you could cut that lemon in your home. Just really imagine that you have a lemon in front of you ready to cut. I would like you to imagine that you have some familiar knife that you're used to using in your home. Most people know what's the sharpest knife they have in their home. And get that knife and begin to cut through that lemon. And as you cut through that lemon, you begin to get that citrusy smell. And as you cut deeper and deeper into that lemon, if you're holding it one hand steady, the juices will begin to ooze out of where you're cutting and run down along your fingertips. And notice how the smell gets a little stronger of that lemon as you cut deeper and deeper into the lemon, and eventually cutting it in half. And as it splits open, you can see the segments and all the juices that have run out from the lemon. Then you get half of that lemon and bring it up to your nose and smell it. And as you imagine all this, perhaps you've noticed, like me, even just telling you this story, the juices begin to come into my mouth. So just by imagining that you're cutting a lemon, juices begin to form in your mouth. So just by imagining that lemon, and you cutting that lemon, and imagining the smell of that lemon, you're having a physiological effect on your body. So what sort of effect do you have on your body with lots of negative thinking? So let's try something else then. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to get your hands out in front of you and interlock all your fingers, just like that. And press really tightly. And as you press really tightly, I'd like you to raise 2 fingers, just like that, in front of your eyes. And as you continue to press really tightly, I want you to imagine that there's a rubber band around those 2 fingers. And as you press really tight, that rubber band is getting tighter and tighter. And as you try to hold those fingers apart, you'll notice that you're finding it difficult to keep them apart. And the harder you try to keep those fingers apart, the more they want to come together. Okay. So let us try another little exercise where what you're thinking affects your body. Now this time what I want you to do is I want you to place your arms out in front of you, palms facing each other. And I want you to imagine that you have a powerful magnet in the palm of each hand. Now what color will those magnets be? You can keep your eyes open or closed for this exercise, whichever you wish. Just imagine you have 2 powerful magnets, one in each hand, and they're beginning to pull closer to each other. The force of those magnets are beginning to pull. You've seen this happen when you put two magnets, one in front of the other, and they pull towards each other. It's difficult to keep them apart. But just imagine those two magnets are beginning to pull tighter and tighter, pulling and tugging on each other. The force just pulling and pulling and pulling. And the harder you try to keep those magnets apart, the more those magnets want to come together. They just keep pulling and tugging, tugging and pulling, pulling and tugging, tugging and pulling. That's right, pulling and tugging. The harder you try to keep them apart, the more they want to come together. The force of those magnets. Turn up the power of those magnets and really try hard to keep those magnets apart. And the harder you try to keep them apart, the more they want to come together. Feeling the force of those magnets, just as if there's something pressing from the other sides of your hands. Those magnets are pulling closer and closer together. That's right. Closer and closer, closer and closer. Eventually touching. Okay, you can open your eyes if you had your eyes closed. And now you've learned how what you're thinking or imagining in your mind has an effect on you in some way. So having negative thoughts about yourself may give you negative feelings, experiences. So begin by changing those thoughts to a positive thought. For every negative idea you have, there's a positive opposite. So anytime you find you have a negative thought, get a pen and paper and write down a complete positive opposite of that. And eventually by doing that exercise, you'll begin to learn automatically to change those negative thinking thoughts. And by changing those negative thinking thoughts, you will change a lot about your personality to being a more positive thinker. And the other thing about being a more positive thinker and positive person, you will attract more positive people into your life. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and you actually get to try some of those ideas out. And if you want, you can go back to the beginning and do all this again with the lemon and your fingers and your hands. Just if you didn't get it right the first time, or you didn't get the sense of it the first time because you were just watching. Sometimes people watch the video and don't engage in the video. But if you didn't engage in the video, go back to the beginning and engage in the whole video again. And of course, begin to change those negative thinking thoughts to positive thinking thoughts.